since the 1920s certainly, with non-locality and wave resonance theory, wave particle resonance, providing some answers in the physical domain. And I use these basic principles of quantum theory to explain, according to my understanding, how spirits are attached to people, the physical, the emotional resonance, the frequency that brings like to like. You could relate it to animal magnetism, if you like. But when it comes to telepathy, I think this steps outside even that arena. I don't think that there is any physical explanation ever likely to be for telepathy at all. In spirit release work, I've had the good fortune to be able to communicate with alien entities that aren't even in this galaxy. That is beyond time and space. So I don't believe that physics in any way, shape or form, even with quantum theory, can solve that mystery. We have to use a completely different framework altogether. Does that answer your question?
Well, it's as close as it's going to get.
It's as close as you're going to get with me, with my knowledge.
Thank you. My brother and I both had associations with Bangor, and I recall that there was a diocesan exorcist in Bangor who wrote at least 2 books.
An exorcist in where? In Bangor. I never met an exorcist in Bangor. I tried very hard while I was there. I was there 3 years, and I went to the cathedral and to the local churches. And I was told that there was a local parish priest in Llanfairpwllgwyngyll Gogerican Gogerican who was a practicing exorcist. But I went there to meet him, but I never could track him down, so I didn't find one. Sorry.
The last question right at the back.
Thanks. Yeah, you mentioned Myers, the extreme end of the wedge, where scientists or whatever, very analytical people, wouldn't respond to suggestion. Have you tried, or do you know anyone who's tried using telepathic suggestion to overcome that resistance, or do you think that their sort of non-suggestibility is something innate rather than due to their being particularly analytical?
I believe it's to do with their beliefs. They believe themselves to be unhypnotizable because they have no belief in anything that is paranormal or supernatural or religious or spiritual. It's part of their belief system. And to reinforce what I'm saying to you about belief, I'll tell you a little story that happened to me recently. It was my dentist, actually. I went to the dentist, had some work done, and just during the course of conversation with him, I said, "But do you ever use hypnosis for your anxious patients?" And he said, "No, I don't believe in it." Telling me that he didn't believe in hypnosis was like showing a red rag to a bull. So I said, "Well, are you human?" And he said, "Well, of course I am." I said, "Well, of course you're hypnotisable. Would you like me to prove it to you?" So he said, "Okay." So he came in to his surgery on a Saturday afternoon. He said, "I'm watching the football." I said, "Do you want me to prove it to you or not?" So he said, "Okay." So he forewent his football match. He said, "Okay, show me I'm hypnotisable." And of course he was. And that led to him having 3 sessions to help him with a problem that he'd been trying to solve for 12 years. He'd suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. He'd been an officer in the Iranian army during the Iraq-Iran war and still hadn't recovered from it. So he used hypnosis. So it's just the belief system.
Thanks.
Everybody's hypnotisable if they want to be.
Well, it has been a small audience, but I've never had such a long discussion in any other meeting at all, which shows the importance and the value of what we've been hearing tonight. And I can only encourage Terry to carry on. Perhaps one of the things he can do is to write this up for the Journal of the Society so that more people are able to hear what he has been telling us. So perhaps you could think of that. There will be refreshments next door, tea, coffee and biscuits. We have to charge £1 for that to cover costs. And at 9 o'clock we are due to go to a restaurant across the road, Carluccio, which gives quite a good meal, and this is where we feed our speaker and anyone else who would like to join to discuss the whole subject. Of course, there is opportunity next door for discussion. Please let the speaker get through to next door. Don't pin him down here, as often happens. And so I really have great pleasure and honour in thanking Terry for the talk tonight. I bring to your attention the lecture next month, which is one of the Gwen Tate Memorial Lectures by Barry Colvin, really a most interesting and fine researcher who is going to talk about poltergeists. Bear in mind that the annual conference is due to come off in early September. I think that we have already passed the closing date for submission of papers, but as usually happens, these submissions only come well after the closing date. So if you have got a paper in mind to give to the conference, it's not actually, although I shouldn't be saying it, it's not too late to submit it to our secretary. And so let us now foregather around our tea and biscuits, and then don't forget that there will be a little caravan going across diagonally to Carluccio at about 9 o'clock when we are thrown out of here. Thank you very much.